Hey, afternoon, Steph. Afternoon. How are we, my man?
All good, mate. All good. Yeah, yeah. Another week. Another week as we record this on a Friday, near enough evening, I guess, in 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Happy to see the end of it, mate, because
Yes, it's been a long
that
one.
means Culture's coming back this weekend. And yeah, I'm in good spirit. This is so different to last year because
Yeah.
obviously, it was it was a car crash of a season, and it was almost as if I didn't look forward to the weekends because I didn't want to look forward to, obviously look forward to making these videos, but Christ, looking forward to
South,
oh,
Fonseca, all the bullshit. Like, what the
oh.
hell?
Whereas like now, obviously, yeah, it's much more enjoyable going into it with a massive leap in faith in what we're doing here. So yeah, I'm doing good, mate. How are you?
Yeah. Good as well. Also, happy to see the end of the week. Like you, Calcio's back, and it's going to be what it needs to be in our lives, right? Our way of escaping. Looking forward to watching the boys play, and obviously, this is by far the biggest game of the season. So, yeah,
Huge.
huge. It's brilliant. Obviously, we want to just do a quick couple of minutes. We're going to be talking today about the Napoli preview, but before we get into that, we're doing a few new things. I'll let you ramble in a sec, Steph, on a bit more detail. But you might have seen Steph's fantastic reaction video to what was it? It was to the I can't
Lecce,
even remember the
Italia
Lecce
game, yeah.
game. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we're doing a few new things, just trying some things out.
Mm.
The watch along is going to be restarting soon. Steph, you'll be jumping on the Napoli game on Sunday, so make sure you join him there. And yeah, we'll be doing some reaction videos, big game
Mm.
watch alongs. But yeah, just expect some new stuff this season. We're going to try some things out. Hopefully, get prepped for next year, which will be a big year for us back in Champions League. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that before we jump into the preview, mate.
No, love the feedback. I think from that vid, obviously wasn't the biggest games against Lecce midweek, but was maybe a good chance to start the ball on post match reactions because yeah, I think obviously we acknowledge that we want to make more content frequently and it can be in different lengths and shapes and sizes. And I think waiting for the podcast is great, and the guys do a fantastic stellar job at that. But like videos like what we're doing now, or equally the post match reactions are very close to the games, or if not after the game. So we're conscious that a lot of fans are eager to hear some opinions, or if they disagree or agree to those opinions is another question. But at least there's a soundboard for it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
hopefully it's a bit more for what everyone wants, and yeah, which probably brings us on to the topic of today's video. As you said, rightfully put, it is the biggest game, obviously, so far of the season. It could be the biggest game of the
Full
season.
stop. Yeah.
Full stop. For Milan, obviously, there's bigger games. There's other contenders from a title perspective, but this is huge. I mean, the table in itself it paints a picture. Obviously, Napoli have done really well for themselves, winning every game, I believe. So they're 3 points clear of Milan. Milan obviously have won. We've won all our games since that Cremonese defeat. So we're 3 points behind, and additionally, of course, the likes of Juventus and Roma are doing really well too. So it's not just a 2-horse race that we're trying to maybe spill this into. But I think if you look at the way that Milan have been so convincing in those 3 games since the Cremonese defeat, and the fact that Napoli obviously reigning title champions, and the fact that they have such a high caliber of quality in their squad, I think you look at these teams right now playing the most all-round best football from a goals perspective, an
100%.
XG, goals conceded, squad quality. That I think all roads lead to this being a massive game where I think it's a hard one because I don't think it's if Napoli lose this, it's kind of like it's neither team's all to lose or all to win. I think it's as equal as you want it to be personally, because I can see a scenario where any of the results can happen, but and still could end up with Napoli or Milan winning the league because it's a long season. But I think this is a huge game from a Milan perspective because everyone is obviously there's a lot of clamoring about how good we've been playing, and we're in the race now. We believe again. This is the biggest test, obviously, so far since the start of the season, and I think if Milan come away with a win, especially San Siro with the ultras coming back, which we'll come on to, it will kind of springboard that momentum a step further, and it'll be huge. So yeah, like look, we're going to go into obviously right now the Gazzetta predicted starting 11s. We'll go into a few more of these themes on what we feel like the game overall, what it means from a table, from a title race perspective, and some of those perhaps those battles on the pitch where we feel like the game could be lost as well. So so let's delve into it, Loz.
Absolutely, go ahead. I mean, I just want to say that I think you said it's spot on. It's a tone setter. I think that the result in terms of points actually is not the important part of this match. You can reclaw these points back. It's not like if you look at the Premier League at the moment where there's a huge gap and Liverpool are sort of somehow running away with it so early. If we were to lose this game, we can get the points back. What it is what you said. It's the tone setter. It's the momentum setter. It's the belief setter for both teams, but especially us being having no Europe and our focus being on hopefully the league itself. So let's jump into the starting 11. Let's jump
exactly
in.
that. Yeah. So we're looking at the predicted 11. I think the Milan one was 95% going to be what we thought it was going to be. Rumors have it it's basically going to be a light for the Udinese game, but put Mike in goal instead of Terracciano.
Makes sense.
So that looks like Mike in goal, Tomori, Gabbia, and Pavlovic in defense. Salamakers at right wing back, Estepinian at left wing back, Rabiot, Fofana, and Modric in midfield, and then Santi Jimenez and Pulisic up top. I think what's very interesting about that is this question of Jimenez versus Nkunku, because obviously both of them scored midweek. Two interesting pieces that I read today was Santi, I think, is there obviously from a fitness perspective because he had all of pre-season near enough. And I think Nkunku, I read something about like 10 minutes before he came off, he asked to be subbed off because a few issues with cramps and stuff like that. So he's clearly not there yet fully.
Fit, match fit,
So I think you go with Santi in this game because of that work rate we're going to need. Obviously, the person playing alongside him in that forward role is going to get hopefully the goals that win us this game. So it's kind of a skewed view on what we're looking at Jimenez for this game. It's not so much he's going to get us the match winner, and it equally could. But I think it's very much how are we going to work, how are we going to keep that work rate, not show any fatigue, because it's going to have to be such a hard working game whilst we do the best to potentially facilitate a Pulisic goal.
He's the facilitator, isn't he? Really, at the moment,
at this very moment,
which is not a problem. We know it's nice he got the goal. We like him to score more, but like you said, we're not struggling massively for goals at the moment. And if he can help, i.e. Pulisic, let's be clear, bag one or two or contribute to one or two, then then he's doing his job. Allegri's quite happy with him being that team player for now, and so are we. I think we're getting the results. So that's good.
Exactly. And then I'll just quickly cover the predicted Napoli starting 11. And the interesting piece was Buongiorno, who came off, I think with a muscle strain, I believe, in the game last weekend. He's out for a month basically. So that's obviously horrible for him and horrible for Napoli, but in a sense, some good news. Big for Milan. I don't ever wish an injury on anyone, but especially in Italian international. But considering Conte's side being so strong defensively, he's an anchor. He's an anchor there. So I mean, Gazzetta put the starting 11 as Merit in goal, which I think is obviously consistent there. Di Lorenzo at right back, Ramani and Juan Jesus at centre back, which I'll come back onto because I do think there's the other centre back they bought from Bologna, who I think I'm not too sure why he wouldn't start this game, but. Maybe I'm not seeing enough of Napoli this season if he is a guaranteed starter or not. Spinazzola left back makes sense. Lobotka, De Bruyne, and Anguissa in the middle as the three. Politano on the right. McTominay is kind of playing this inverted like left role and kind of switching around with De Bruyne to give him a reference point. And then Højlund up front as well. So huge story there because obviously we were heavily linked to Højlund in the summer.
So many parallels, Steph. There's so many parallels to this match.
There's a lot going on here, isn't there? Like De Bruyne versus Modric. There's a lot of stories here that the papers have really gone with. But look, I think looking at both 11s, really strong. Obviously, Buongiorno's missing. Obviously, you could probably balance that out with Leao missing for us. I mean, he's on the bench, but from a full fitness perspective. But both teams have got probably as close to a starting 11 as possible. Ish, maybe with the exception of one.
Yeah, I would say they're both the 90% strength, right? Roughly, which it's an even game. It's not like either team is massively weakened. It's a really interesting point to face each other, right? I agree with that. Yeah,
it's almost as if like you look at both sides and you go, all right, the weakness is there. Go at that. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not Napoli's right side with Di Lorenzo and Politano can be got at from a defensive perspective. I'm not worried about them to create much. I say that as they probably might, someone like Politano might score against us, but like, I'm not so much worried about that right side, but you don't look at that and go, they're a calamity. You can just get at that. It's whereas the same can be said for both sides. And I think that's more to do with the setup and obviously the two coaches here with Allegri and Conte, and the way that they just congest the central part of the midfield and well, the center of the pitch to keep that spine so strong, whether it's from creating or attacking wise, like Conte does, or equally defensively from Allegri. I don't sit here and I'm really happy going into the game based off those two starting 11s, but I'm not sitting here going, we're going to get a win, because I just really can't call this game, because I think it's going to, as cliche as it sounds, it's going to be tight, cliche, and I think it's going to be 1-0 game, cliche, but it probably will be. That's the thing.
It'll be a tactical. It won't be the Juve Inter 4-3 crazy that we've seen. In terms of them two being quite close in ability. It will be a 1-1, 1-0. Tight tactical masterclass. Both managers, the best in the league, Italian. They want to get over each other. They're not gonna take risks. They're gonna be so pragmatic. But it'll be fascinating from that perspective, right? It is going to be a really interesting watch. I think the quality of football is going to be really high as well. I think it'll be really high.
And there's a lot of experience on the pitch as well. Like we mentioned De Bruyne versus Modric, which in itself is such a fantastic story. There's I mean, how old is De Bruyne? Like 35 or something like that?
35 and 40 respectively.
Yeah. Like 75 years of top level experience.
But for me, it's the other two they're the game winners. It's the Rabiot McTominay